Thank you so much for praying for me and for the team. Jeremy and Anne were with us a few weeks ago, and literally we went from that Sunday to Mexico. And it kind of seems like I've been away for ages, but it's only just been over a couple of weeks. But what I do want to do is just share some headlines because you guys really have been so faithful in praying. And I'm very, very conscious whenever I go on a trip like that although I go with you in the sense of you both send me, but more than that, I think your praying is so strategic. And I know one of the things that you prayed for, particularly in the light of just what's happening in the world today, was for safety, protection, and even stuff in Mexico. And, well, I'm back. I'm in one piece. Okay? I've got no scars. Okay? But actually had some amazing travel. We literally traveled thousands of miles, not just in flight, but actually in buses, cars, whatever. And it's quite a tiring trip in that way, and yet totally, felt God's protection in that. So thank you for praying for that. But just a few tasters, really. So I've got some photos and I've got 2 short videos. So first of all, it's Elle. You guys love it, don't you? And she loves you. Again, she was with us, a Mexican girl, daughter of Pepe and Vero. Pepe leads the church in Leon, and she was with us for a year. She just loves this place. It's beautiful to just, know her love for you guys, and I know you love her. And anyway, just to say, we had quite an amazing time at that first weekend. We were at Leon, bang in the middle. It really is the geographical middle center of Mexico. And we gathered a lot of church leaders together for a weekend. And one of the things we're praying for was breakthrough in gifts of the Spirit. The very things we've seen this morning, we're praying for them for that because they're great in worship, Mexicans. They are so passionate, red hot, passionate worship. But sometimes they're just a little bit kind of hesitant in stepping out in gifts of Spirit. And anyway, we really pushed into that a bit. And there's a moment in the meeting where actually I really felt I had something, a gift in another language to sing out. And any of you who know my singing voice would know, yeah. Anyway, but it's out of my comfort zone to do that. And I really felt to do it. And I did it. And somehow God helped me in that. And then Anne, who was here just a few weeks ago, she sang a beautiful interpretation. But of course, it's in English. We're in Mexico. Okay? So I'm singing out in this gift of another language. Anne sings in English. And literally, Jeremy grabbed Itzel to sing in Spanish together with Anne. And I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've heard for a very long time of just these 2 ladies singing, one in English, one in Spanish, just together so that everyone there could be built up. And it's beautiful, but it was wonderful to see Itzel just rising to it and kind of not holding back and actually singing properly, which kind of wasn't where it started with me. Next one. This is a lady. Okay. I'd just like to, be clear on things. God put on her heart some years back now to start basically a homework club in one of the poorest parts of Leon, and it really is desperately poor there. You've got a lot of single mums there who end up with 6, 7 children. There was one, actually, that we met, or some of the children we met, 13 children. Single mum, imagine they're young mums, and they're being, kind of taken advantage of, as you can imagine, all sorts of stuff like that. And they live in an incredibly poor part of the city of Leon. And really, there's no way out for the kids. They're just almost destined to repeat what's happened. And anyway, she had a heart to open up a homework club. And so actually out of her own earnings, rented this place. And morning and evening, she does 2 homework clubs. And basically, she feeds the kids because they don't eat properly. And then, next slide, is that the kids learn household chores. They learn to wash, clean up, wash the floors, whatever. They learn domestic skills, which they just wouldn't earn at home. And they're beautiful kids, and this lot would have been at school, and they must do their homework. And if they do their homework, they get an award. They get kind of like stars. And when they get stars, they earn a certain number, and then they've got a little shop there. People donate gifts, and they can buy stuff out of the shop with their stars. Brilliant. Okay, just a lady, a heart to do that, and the church are getting behind it. And so it's a privilege to see that. And then after that, we went up to El Petit. Now, El Petit, if you imagine Leon, massive city, growing city, it's bigger every time you go there. El Petit is right up in the mountains. It really is with the indigenous folks. And literally about 30 years ago now, a guy called Leonardo, very quiet, unassuming guy, moved there with his wife, planted a church. There was no church there. It was only quite a religious background. They were persecuted. Their home was set on fire. He saw God heal people. It felt like the New Testament. Okay? This is now 30 years on. That's them worshipping. We were with them one evening. They got their own church building. They had a bit of land anyway. Great story about the church building. They were praying and praying for money, and they just didn't get it. And in the end, someone in the church said, well, let's just pray to get started. And literally, they did that. They made the start to build the building. And that day, people arrived with some cement. And then the next day, someone arrived with bricks. And the whole story is that actually they just got materials, resources, And so it's great to be with actually about 250 there in that meeting one evening. And again, just the presence of God. And their language is Otomi, but mainly they speak in Spanish now. So it's great to be up there. And then next slide, we had breakfast. Oh, that's just a view. So that's El Petit. That kind of gives you an idea of way up there. Life's a bit more simple and a bit more, as you imagine, up in Mexican mountains. About 7,500 feet there. Next one. And this is breakfast that following morning. And we had about 20 or so leaders around the table. And breakfast. Someone made a comment. I'd sent some photos back to one of the prayer groups, Thursday prayer group, and someone made the comment, saying, "You're always eating." Yeah, and it's true. You eat always. You do. It's the culture. You just eat. And sometimes you eat. You do breakfast, and you finish breakfast, and people actually say, "Okay, where should we have lunch?" And you just eat. It's the culture. But around that table, about leaders now would represent about 5 different churches or church plants up in the mountains. We're talking about National Geographic remote stuff. And it's just great to see the gospel and Jesus changing lives. And just going around the table around there, listening to stories of some of those guys are amazing. There's a guy, actually not on this photo, literally almost opposite me. He had been serving as the mayor of the village for a year, unpaid, full-time, real stuff, just kind of helping people's lives, sorting out domestic stuff. So it's great. And moving on. Okay, this is a video. Okay, the sound won't be great, but it just gives you a flavour. Leonardo is the guy talking to the right. He's the guy who planted the church, and hopefully you can hear a little bit of interpretation. So.
Con una interpretación diferente.
Maybe I just even actually preach with a different interpretation.
Pero
But
lo que confío, lo que confié,
what I was just trusting in
es que Dios nos llevó
is that God
hasta este tiempo.
was going to keep taking us forward even up to this moment right now.
Ahora vemos, por ejemplo, en los lugares donde estamos compartiendo
And
la
now
palabra,
we're seeing where we're sharing the word, in these other villages.
estos hermanos que están aquí alrededor
These brothers that are right here around us right now,
son los que están yendo,
they're going, they're doing it.
o vamos junto con ellos
Or we're going with them basically,
para compartir la palabra.
just to share the word with people.
Y ahora pues vuelvo a escuchar que
I hear again,
que
once
la
again,
palabra pues va a producir
the
más
word's
fruto
gonna produce more fruit,
y también pues seguiremos
and
extendiendo la palabra
we'll
de
keep
Dios.
extending the kingdom and the word of God around.
Amen.
Y es
Just as simple as that, but a little snippet of Leonardo saying these brothers and obviously their wives are going into the villages, preaching the gospel, seeing people saved and planting new churches. It's exciting, isn't it? It's Bible stuff. Okay, and then from there, it's great contrast. Okay, you've got that picture of El Petit. This is Guadalajara, second city in Mexico, huge, 8, 9 million, maybe 10 million now. And you can just see it's the other side of Mexico. But in the middle of that, there's this church plant that, in fact, Alan Rossi from Whitehaven has been very involved in that church plant, helping them to relaunch. They kind of went through a sticky time, and they were relaunched back last year. And it's just great to see, actually, these two young guys that are leading that church, you know. So, you know, some of the older guys like Leonardo have kind of been at it for decades now, but these guys are much younger. Next picture, that's me literally last Sunday. Okay, this is, again, after a meal, going out for just a whole bunch from the church, and, you know, that'd be typical. We had a great meeting, actually, just God really helped, and again, thanks for your prayers in terms of that. I know some of you were really praying, because I kind of went into it not quite knowing what to do. Anyway, but God was with us, and we had, it was just great being with them. Next picture, we went shopping, okay? This affects all of you. We went shopping, and this is in a huge music store in Guadalajara, and they'd been saving money for some fresh PA stuff, and money's, you know, it is an issue. You know, it's a real issue over there. And they'd always bought mics from the cheapest store possible. And guess what? They kept breaking and breaking and breaking and breaking. But they saved some money. And anyway, they found this system, which was much better quality. And it is beyond their budget. So they were just saying, OK, we'll just go for one rather than the two. And so I had a great moment of being able to just say to them, OK, well, what's your budget? How short are you on the money? And I made one of those instant decisions on behalf of all of you. So I hope you're all okay with it, okay? And that's George on the left, okay? He's one of the leaders, great musician. That's Ches on the right. Again, he leads, they lead. And I said, okay, they've saved that. They use their budget. I said, Kings will cover the rest. And it was like, no. I said, yes, we will. And so I think I've got another video.
Hi everyone, my name is George and he's Sergio, and we are part of Central Gracia. We're the elders here, and yeah, we just want to say thank you very much for supporting us on buying new mics. It was such a blessing for us, and thank you very much.
So yeah, last December we were named elders, and at the main, like in the Sunday, all the mics stopped working. So we were so upset about it. We couldn't use wireless mics or wired mics. Nothing worked. It was crazy. So we've been saving some money, and you guys were generous enough last night to pitch in a little bit of extra money so we could buy better mics. And now we have mics for 10 years on. So thank you for being generous with us. Also for letting Roger come here every year and just blessing us. That's generosity too. So we're family. We love you. We'll be praying for you. And again, thank you very much. You've done well and you've blessed us so much. So God bless you. See you soon. Dios los bendiga. Gracias.
Excellent, well done. So well done, all of you. Okay, that was great. That's it. Thanks, Lorraine. And but it's great, isn't it? Just to be a blessing across the nations and to really make a difference. And there might be an opportunity, just a kind of a heads-up warning, going back to that the Breakfast Club thing in Leon. That lady and the church help as well a bit over there. but is paying kind of a bit of a silly, bit of an expensive rate to rent one of these poor places, poor places where they have the breakfast club. And so whilst we're over there as a team, with Jeremy and Anne and Andy and Nick, others on the team, we're just talking through how much would it cost to buy one of those? And we're talking about $20,000. Which is crazy money, really, to buy a property like that. And so we might, as churches working together, just have an offering together so actually we can just buy something out there that she can really develop something more. So exciting. So well done, church. Thanks for praying. Thanks for your generosity. And it's just great. Good.